NXT Heatwave is just a couple of hours away. I thought I'd come on quickly here onto SCW and give my predictions for the show. There were 6 matches in total, and I'm not going to waste any time getting straight into it. We've got Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio as a team. I don't think we've seen them in a mixed tag team match together before. I'm surprised they've actually done this for the first time on NXT rather than a Raw or Premium Live event. But they'll be taking on Lyra, Valkyria, and Dragon Lee on the show. Of course, Rhea Ripley and Lyra Valkyria they've had a match before on NXT, and of course, Rhea Ripley wanted to see Lyra take out JC Jane, and Lyra did just that. Dragon Lee and Dominik Mysterio have had a match as well for the North American Championship. Of course, Dirty Dom has been champion for a little while now. Even Rey Mysterio in the corner of Dragon Lee couldn't get the job done. But the mixed tag team match here seems a lot of fun. Quite looking forward to it. Look, as I said, Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio, first time as a team in a mixed tag team environment. I think they'll be picking up the victory. I expect Rhea Ripley to continue her dominance. She's been destroying people left, right, and center. I think Lyra Valkyria will pick up the pinfall in this, protecting Dragon Lee. Although Lyra, for me, has had a great showing with Rhea Ripley. I don't want to say that she's been as buried as some others may have been in the past. Shout out to Mo in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Let us know your predictions for the show. And of course, anyone else that is watching as well, feel free to get involved as we move on to match number 2. We've got Von Wagner taking on Baron Corbin. Of course, seeing in the parking lot, actually we see Bron Breakker confront Baron Corbin as well. And of course, Bron Breakker went through a table against Von Wagner despite winning a match. I can see something similar happening here because Von Wagner said that Baron Corbin will go through a table. Corbin's going through a new gimmick. So I think Corbin will win, although I think Bron Breakker perhaps will be the reason why Von Wagner is able to put Baron Corbin through the table. And we could be building to Bron Breakker versus Baron Corbin, which would be an interesting match to see as both of them are heels right now. But so for me, I'll go for Corbin to pick up the W, but I think Wagner will get his wish. And I do think we will see Corbin get tabled tonight. Moving on next, then we'll talk about the Heritage Cup. We've got Nathan Frazer against Noam. Looking forward to this match, although the Heritage Cup, not really my cup of tea. I find that the British rounds is a bit, well, it's stop-start is exactly what it says on the tin, isn't it? 6 rounds, 2 out of 3 falls. And yeah, of course, if you get a fall, then the round completely stops. But it's 3-minute rounds each and every time. Noam Dar, the longest holding Heritage Cup champion. Of course, though, he's not the current holder of the Heritage Cup. Nathan Frazer is. Of course, he beat Owen Mensah, who was actually wrestling on behalf of Noam Dar when Frazer won the Heritage Cup. Noam Dar has lost, though, a match against Tyler Bate in the same format. And we've seen Noam Dar be quite entertaining as well, of course, being in a bit of a trance. Also have the Kevin and Perry go large look as well with the bucket hat on his head. But at the same time, this is the part of the story now, it feels for me, where Noam Dar can continue being on a bit of a slump, or he gets his baby back and he continues going forward with the Heritage Cup. It clearly feels to me that WWE could do more with Noam Dar with the Heritage Cup than Nathan Frazer, although they can have great matches with Frazer and other wrestlers, same as Axiom, for example, Tyler Bate being another one. Frazer does owe Bate a favor. So I'm going to actually say I think Nathan Frazer will pick up the win. I think that we could see the sour side of Noam Dar going forward. And for me, I wouldn't necessarily be against that. I think that could be quite entertaining for the group that we have with the metaphor right now, having to deal with Noam Dar on a weekly basis. And shout out to the chat as well. Pierre asking the question, do we think that Raquel could come around in NXT tonight? Really good question, this one, especially as she is 100% cleared. They're going to want to build up her and Rhea Ripley further. It's a possibility, and that would be a good way to get Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria the big win on NXT if they were to pick up the W. I have predicted Rhea and Dom to pick up the win. However, I do like the way that you're thinking, Pierre. Certainly food for thought there, and wouldn't be surprised now to see it happen. A match did take me by surprise. I wasn't aware of this one until just a few moments ago. Ivy Nile will be taking on Ava. I believe this is Ava's first singles match. We've seen her in the ring before, of course, The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, but in a singles capacity, I'm not sure we have. I'm looking forward to seeing how she'll cope in the ring in a one-on-one environment. Of course, Ava will be accompanied by the Schism, so I'm going to predict Ava to pick up the victory, although I do think the Creed brothers will play a factor in this and will make a full-on return to NXT, which will then conclude the, if you want Diamond Mine, if you want, or Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile against the Schism. Following on with this, we've got Trick Williams against Ilja Dragunov. Now, I've got to say, probably the best built match of the show. Trick Williams wanting to go on his own, a natural breakup with him and Carmelo Hayes. To be fair, I like the way they did it rather than doing the full-on rival and rival best friends collide. I didn't need to see that. I like Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes as a unit, and they can bring them back together now anytime that they want to. Of course, though, he wants to prove that he can beat Ilja Dragunov, and Ilja Dragunov has a reason to want to beat on Trick Williams. We go back to the last Premium Live event, the Great American Bash. Trick Williams arguably cost Ilja the title. Of course, Trick was Mr. Motivator when it comes to Carmelo Hayes holding the NXT Championship, saying, "Come on, you can do it. What will you do to retain this championship?" And of course, there was the moment where Ilja went diving in to hit his finishing move on Carmelo Hayes on the floor. Carmelo Hayes got out of the way. Trick Williams was standing there with the NXT Championship. Ilja went straight into the title. Leading that then to the match here, Ilja says he's going to punish Trick Williams. I think that's exactly what is going to happen. Trick Williams, though, for me, I think it's got the potential to be a breakout star in NXT. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. But for me, I'm going to predict Dragunov to pick up the win here. Dragunov is on a tear right now, and I could see a potential rematch of Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov at NXT's No Mercy, which takes place at the end of September. So I've pretty much given the last prediction away for you. Carmelo Hayes, I think, will beat Wes Lee, but I do think this is going to be a fantastic match. Wes Lee, for me, has been built so well, having his North American Championship reign that he had. For me, I think put him to the next level, put that championship to another level as well. So Wes Lee has been a great, it's been a great champion. It's great to see him now move up the ladder, move to the next step, and go for the NXT title. When many said he couldn't do it, he couldn't go for the tag team titles, couldn't go for the North American. Why can't he go for the NXT Championship? The reason why he can't on this occasion, Carmelo Hayes has been unbelievable as champion. He's the face of NXT, and I think he's still got mileage left as NXT champion. As I've said to you before here, I predict Carmelo Hayes Dragunov 2 will take place at No Mercy. And of course, that time, Carmelo Hayes will not have a Trick Williams in his corner. I think it will be quite fascinating. Will we see a full-on heel Ilja Dragunov? Certainly he's had the tendencies started right now in NXT, and it could lead to a beatdown that could actually put Trick Williams on the shelf. Wouldn't be surprised to see that angle play out either, to ensure that there is no Trick Williams in the corner of Carmelo Hayes, plus making the match personal for the rematch. But for me, I think this is potentially going to be match of the night. Carmelo Hayes, Wes Lee, both have got unbelievable chemistry together in the ring. They've wrestled before and they've done great stuff in the past, but I think Carmelo Hayes will pick up the W this time. So that's my predictions there for NXT Heatwave. I've not had the opportunity to do this as a recording. I've been trying for days. Unfortunately, I've been a bit under the weather, but hey, I managed to get the video ready for you in time for the show. I hope you enjoy it tonight on NXT. Keep an eye as well for other videos that will be dropping on the channel as well, including AEW All-In predictions. If you're into your All Elite Wrestling, of course, there's a show at Wembley Stadium. Those predictions will be on the channel on Thursday. As well as that, keep an eye now on the community tab as well. The next SCW Rewind will be able for you open to vote, which will be a No Mercy edition as well, as we're talking NXT. And as well as that, also the match watch along as well will be involved. If you've missed SCW Rewind tonight of Payback 2020, I highly recommend you go and check it out, where Roman Reigns' historic championship reign began on this show. 1,087 days later, he's still the champion. Find out my reaction to that show along with NXT as we discuss it. Before I wrap things up, make sure to like the video, share with a friend, and subscribe. I will go into the comments just to finish off then for the last couple of minutes. And C Nation has jumped into the house and actually says, back being live. Absolutely. Wanted to make sure I got this video in before NXT started. Just not had the opportunity to do so at this point. But asking about Emergence, I can tell you that I'm aiming to get those predictions out hopefully tomorrow, if not for sure by Thursday. They will be dropping on the channel this week. But this was short, this was brief, but you know what? It's been a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me as well that have joined in live. For those that watch on delay as well, enjoy NXT Heatwave. If you've missed anything, then rewind to the start. This video is just 9 minutes long. Take care. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good one. Enjoy Heatwave.